It is taking the Mikel Monday after the weekend that was. What a weekend it was as well. John Obi Mikel, Chris McHardy, Johnny boy, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, mate.
You and I have been watching an awful lot of football.
Yeah, we did.
This weekend.
Over the weekend, didn't we?
We've had a right good chat before this podcast.
Some great games, though.
It's awesome, great games.
Yeah.
You said, are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
It was a cracking start to the year.
It was fantastic. Fantastic weekend of football. I mean, I enjoyed it. I stayed home, spent time with the kids, and,
Made them watch football.
Yeah. No, got a bit of free time, and obviously decided to watch, just binge watching football.
From beginning to end. We're going to unpack some of the big stories from Tottenham, Newcastle at the start of the weekend, all the way through to Liverpool against Manchester United.
Yes.
But I've got to do this, John. I'm sorry to do this. We've got to start with your club. Let's start with Chelsea. It's now 2 points in 12.
Yeah.
Winless in 4. Again taking the lead, not holding on to a lead.
Yeah.
Again conceding late. A little bit of a worry there that it's starting to become a habit, and a bad one at that.
Listen, a little bit of a worry, but not too much of a worry. Listen, it was a game where I thought we did enough to win the game, didn't we, against Palace? I felt we played okay. But the good thing is that we are creating chances. We're still creating chances. We're still playing well. We're still doing the right things, but we're not just clinical enough. We're not clinical enough, and we're not scoring goals. And for me, that is this was my conversation. Obviously, all this time, we've talked about it.
We've talked about it till we're blue
we've talked
in the
about
face.
it in the pod. Talking about getting another, top. I think striker that can win us this kind of games. You know what I mean? Difficult games whereby if obviously Nicolas Jackson is not firing in all cylinders, you can give him a rest and then get someone else to come into the team and trying to win us games and score goals. We're not just clinical enough. He's not scoring enough goals. Listen, he puts himself in good positions, but then he's not finishing. He's not scoring enough. He's not a striker that is going to get us to the top 4 or win us Premier League title. He's not that striker.
He'll get you top 4, maybe not the title.
Listen, I think he can get us to top 4, but I don't think he can get us over the line in terms of winning trophies. So for me, he's that player, can link up play. He's good on the ball, but he's not scoring enough. He's not scoring enough goals that can win us this. We've been in the title race. Are we still in the title race? No, we're not in the title race. Definitely not. But we need to focus now. I've said it from the start of the season. Top 4 is what we should be aiming for. We should be aiming to finish in the top 4. And right now, the teams that are behind us are picking up form. They're winning games. You have Newcastle that are coming. You have City that are coming back.
Bournemouth.
You have Bournemouth that are coming back. Obviously, you have Aston Villa. I think they're still going to be there. So listen, it's not a given the top 4. We still have to win games. We still have to fight for it. And right now, we're not winning games. We're finding it difficult to win games. We're finding it difficult to hold on to lead as well. So it's a bit of a worry, but I'm not too worried. I'll be very, very worried if we stop creating chances and playing well. But we are doing that. We are creating chances. But unfortunately, we are not clinical enough. How many times have we finished games, the last 4, 5, 6 games, that the managers come out and say, listen, we created chances, we played enough to be able to win this game, but we're not clinical enough. We're not. And I think the manager needs to, I'm not saying come out and say something publicly, but he needs to have a word with Jackson. Whatever it is he needs to do, he needs to continue to give him the confidence. He needs to start scoring enough. He's not scoring enough. And for me, that's what I've said before. If we have a Victor Osimhen or the guy from Sporting Lisbon,
Victor.
Yeah, exactly. I think, trust me, we would have still been competing to win the Premier League.
Is this just a kind of issue of, is it just experience and youth, John? Because you can look at both ends of the pitch. Not clinical enough at the top end. And this little, call it mental block. We've seen a lot of goals recently conceded late on. We saw it at Brentford. We saw Fulham.
Yeah.
Now we saw Crystal Palace all scoring within the final 10 minutes of a football match.
Yeah.
Can you put that down to just youth and a lack of experience? I mean, you've been there.
I put that down to that as well. I think that's something that you can say. That's probably a little bit of the problem, but these are experienced players. You have players like Enzo Fernandez. You have players like Caicedo, Levi Colwill as well, now international player. So for me, these players can be able to lead the younger players. I know we played a younger centre back.
Well, yeah, you're missing Wesley Fofana.
Yeah, and for me, since Fofana has got injured, and this is when this started happening. So I think Fofana has been a big miss for us. He's been a big miss because the partnership, obviously, with him and Levi Colwell was absolutely fantastic. We were not conceding goals. We're not losing games like this.
Actually.
But since he got injured, this whole thing has started happening. So he's been a big miss for us, and we just can't hold on to lead. We can't find a way to win games, to finish off games. And listen, the chances that we created in the first half, like I said, if Jackson had scored one or two of those, the game would have been over.
Game's done.
Game over. But because he keeps missing this chance, when you keep missing this, especially when you play in a stadium like Crystal Palace, whereby, it's a bit like a basketball kind of stadium where, 1 minute you this, 1 minute you that. You need to silence that crowd. You need to be able to finish those chances when you do get them. And we did create those chances. But we were not clicking enough. He's not scoring enough. Nicolas is not scoring enough. He needs to, the finishing or whatever, he needs to find a way to. Yes, he did that after the conversation. He did that. He started scoring. It looked like, okay, now he's back. He's finding a way of scoring goals. But lately, he's not doing it. And lately, he's not been scoring enough goals. So for me, it's a bit of a worry because we're not scoring enough. Like I said, without Cole Palmer, I don't know where we would have been this season. Definitely not where we are right now.
No,
because
nowhere near.
He's carrying the team on his shoulder. He's creating chances, he's scoring goals. What more can he do? We need somebody else who can help him. And so far, for now, for the past 4, 5, 6 games, 7 games, Nicolas hasn't been doing that. So he needs to get back to that form where, when he was scoring goals and helping the team win games.
Yeah, 1 goal in 6 for
That's
Nicolas.
not good enough. 1 goal in 6, it's not good enough, especially for a team that's competing to win the title. You talk about top strikers, strikers that knows how to finish, knows how to be clinical. Look at Isak, Newcastle.
Flying, but he's
flying, isn't he?
He's in a purple patch at the minute, but yes.
Yeah, the purple patch, isn't he? But the way he's scoring goals.
9 and 7.
Exactly. So that's what we need. We need to Nicolas needs to find a way to start scoring goals again. Yes, he's putting himself in that position. But when you put yourself in that position, you need to be able to finish. At least when you have 2 or 3, at least make sure one of them goes in the back of the net. And so far, he's not done that.
No.
And he needs to find a way of doing that.
It's not just about Nicolas.
It's not just about Nicolas.
He needs a helping hand from other players.
Of course he does.
Because you rightly point out, Cole Palmer, this Chelsea team, increasingly reliant on Cole Palmer. But then you've got your Christopher Nkunku's, your João Felix's, Pedro Neto's, Jadon Sancho's, Noni Madueke. Going to be asking whether they are contributing enough, or at least have been in recent weeks. And the reason I get to that, because Enzo himself is not without his criticism here, John, because you look at the trust that he has in his squad, or his perceived lack of trust, his distrust of the squad. Only 3 Premier League clubs have used fewer substitutes than Chelsea's. 74 this season. That's Palace 71, Man City 64, and Everton 58. The average time of Chelsea's first substitute is in the 63rd minute, with only 3 clubs waiting longer. That's Brentford 64, Fulham 65, Ipswich 66. So despite the fact we sit here and wax lyrical about what they've done in a Europa Conference League perspective, that he's got 2 teams, from a Premier League perspective, he's not trusting the blokes on the bench.
Well,
I mean, that tells you a lot.
Yeah, that tells you a lot. I mean, I think that's one criticism, obviously, that we might label on Maresca. He doesn't seem to find a way to make those chances that can affect the games, that can change the games, or even when we're winning or when we're losing, that can affect the game, or make those changes a bit earlier. You know what I mean?
Be proactive, not
be
reactive.
Proactive, exactly, not reactive. So he needs to find a way to deal with that. We have a very, very good depth in the squad, especially the bench. You look at players on the bench, João Felix, Nkunku, Madueke now, who's not starting, Pedro Neto when he's on the bench, and of course, Modric is suspended, Modric. So we have those players on the bench. Why not use them? Why not make those changes early? But of course, listen, if you have a player like, I keep thinking, why is João Felix not been playing? He's been frozen out. He's not getting a kick. Listen, I understand that he plays in sometimes you say same position as Cole Palmer. And he doesn't find a way to get him in the team or bring him on. And he feels like he doesn't want to take Cole Palmer off. But find somewhere else to bring
Solution, yeah.
Find a solution, because I think he's a fantastic player, João Felix. We need to get him on the pitch. We need to get him to start playing, because I think he's going to help the team. So Enzo needs to find a way to balance that, to find a way to make those changes that can affect the team, that can affect the game. And yeah, I mean, we need to do that. I think João Felix is that player that can help us.
Substitution is such a key part of the game, of course. I know Gareth Southgate, the former England manager, in the summer was berated for his seemingly inability to make changes that
waited too long, didn't he?
Change the game, waited too long. José Mourinho. I look back, when I think of substitutions, the masters at it, Sir Alex, and José. I mean, John, I remember the days you'd be watching Chelsea, you'd be 1-0 up, 0-0 at half time.
Yeah.
He'd think nothing. He'd make a change at half time.
And you think, what is he doing?
What the heck?
Yeah. No, José was a master of that. You know, he knew when to make changes. Even if we're winning, we're very comfortable in the game. You're thinking, why the hell are you making those changes? And he brings someone on because he's seen something that nobody has seen. And it's about that. Enzo needs to find that way. He needs to be more active. You know, he needs to be more active in terms of making those subs. Because listen, he's come out and said, listen, I don't want to make subs just because I want to make subs. Just because everybody's saying you need to make substitution. He said, if the players are playing well, I don't want to disrupt the team. I somehow understand that. You don't want to make changes when you feel the team is playing well, the team is compact, and everybody's playing well. Then who do you want to take out if everybody's playing well? You just don't want to make changes because everybody's saying make a change. I understand that part, but sometimes, especially when the game against Fulham, where we were leading, I think in the 81 minutes or something like that, bring it on to the centre back. Close the game out. He didn't do that, and we went on to lose the game. So for me, these are the situations whereby he needs to find a way to deal with it, because if it was José Mourinho, there was no way we're going to lose that Fulham game. There was no way. So Enzo needs to find that way of making those changes and affecting the game the way it's going to help the team or help the team to win games.
These kind of conversations that we're having, the fact that data's out there, the fact that the wider public is talking about Enzo's apparent apathy, his apparent disinterest or at least belief in making substitutions, does that filter down to the players? Are the players now aware? Because I always think, you know, the media and what we say, does it really have an impact on players? Are players aware that, listen, our gaffer's got an issue with substitutions? Our gaffer is not making many substitutions, that are impacting the game. The players start becoming aware of that, John.
Maybe, listen, a player sitting there thinking, listen, I'm not going to come off, am I? You know what I mean? He's not going to stop me. So, sometimes it
because with José, I would imagine, John.
Oh, yeah, with José.
José makes a change at half time.
Straight away.
All of you boys think he's the master. That change.
Yeah, José straight away. Listen, you think you're in the game, you're playing well, and everything is going well, and then the next minute you're off. You're thinking, what the fuck has happened here? And no, you're off, mate. He's seeing something that we haven't seen. I think sometimes if you're not making those changes, of course, the players might, it might create a little bit of, complacency start creeping into the players because they're thinking, listen, I'm not going to come off, am I? He's not going to take me off, or he's not going to make too many substitutes. Even if he makes, it's going to be one or two. So he needs to find out a way of keeping the players on their toes. I like what he's doing with Madueke. He's trying to get the best out of him, but he needs to do that for the whole team. If you're not playing well, same way he did with Enzo Fernandez. Now, if he's not playing well, I know Lavia is still injured. If you're not playing well, you can bring that player out. So for me, substitution, they are key in terms of winning games, especially in the Premier League. You need to make substitution that you think that can affect the game, and you need to make them quickly as well.
Yeah, the Wesley Fofana injury is a big one, John.
It is a big one. It is a big one because you can see now the defensive line is not that solid.
No.
We're conceding goals that we shouldn't be conceding. I think if Fofana is still fit, I don't think we would have been conceding the goals that we're conceding. I think we would have been seeing off this game and keeping those leads. So for me, him being injured is definitely affected the team.
Right, you're not overly worried. Yes, you've got one or two gripes, as all football fans do on a weekly basis, one or two little things. And the fact that it is now no wins in 4.
Oh, yeah.
2 points in 12. We know, and I think we all expect.
Of course, we all expect there's going to be, bumps here and there, whereby we're going to go, period in the season whereby we're going to go without winning games. And this is the period. I actually think right now, the Premier League starts now. The season starts now. Because this is a time whereby now international games are going to be back.
March, yeah.
You know what I mean?
February,
something like that. It's going to be back. There's going to be way too many games. There's going to be players. I don't wish anybody to be injured, but, players flying different countries, not coming back early. Fatigue is going to creep in here and there, blah, blah, blah. This is when the mental side of the game comes in. The mental side of the game comes in. Now is who is the toughest that's going to survive. Who is the toughest is going to be in that top 4. And that's what we need to start fighting for, because if we are not careful, we keep slipping down the table. If we're not careful, mate, we're going to lose the top 4 because we don't want to do that. I think for us, achievement this season is to be in the top 4.
Yeah.
We've said it before that I don't think we're going to win the Premier League. Not just yet. But top 4 should be our target. We should be able to make sure we finish in the top 4.
And Newcastle are hunting you down. Man City, back-to-back wins now in the Premier League.
We all knew City are going to be there.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of when.
Correct.
I don't think they're going to win the Premier League, but I think they're going to be in that top 4. So you look at it now, you obviously Liverpool, then you say Arsenal. Then, okay.
Forest, Chelsea.
Forest are there.
Newcastle,
yeah,
City.
Exactly.
And then the informed team, now unbeaten in 8 in the Premier League, is Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And they are the next Premier League visitors to the bridge.
Yeah, so we need to, listen, it's going to be a tough game. Bournemouth is always a tough game. I think they beat us 1-0, didn't they, away at the start of the season, or was it a draw? I can't remember. But they are flying, Bournemouth. They haven't lost a game in 8, I think, isn't it?
So haven't lost in 8.
And Donny found a way of getting that team to play some brilliant football. I mean, the way they're playing, and they're so compact as well. So it's going to be a tough game for us. We need to find a way of winning that game. We need to find a way of, getting back into winning ways. And I'm pretty sure we'll do that. I'm pretty sure it's a game that we should win. We're playing at home with our fans. I think we should be able to get all 3 points.
4 of the next 5 in all competitions for Chelsea are at home, are at the bridge. Morecambe in the Emirates FA Cup this coming weekend, 3rd round. Morecambe, greatest of respects. He could roll out the young boys and they should get the result. But then it's Bournemouth at home, Wolves at home.
Wolves at home, yeah.
City away before the month is out. Yeah. And then you kick off February with a home match against West Ham. There are 4 matches there.
There is no easy games now in the Premier League.
No, there isn't.
No easy games in the Premier League. I mean, if you told anyone that Forest will be where they are come this season, that person will probably think, what have you taken? Are you mad? But no, they're where they are because they're winning games, and Bournemouth are where they are because they're winning games. Fulham playing well as well. So there's no easy game right now in the Premier League. So we need to find a way of starting to win games. If we don't do that, we'll be pretty surprised how low we'll go down the table. Because the Premier League, trust me, 1 week you slip, you'll find yourself in a different position, all in the league table. So we need to find a way of getting back to winning ways. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be tough. The next few games are gonna be tough, but we need to find a way of winning games.
Aside from maybe Messrs Ronaldo and Messi, all other footballers are human. Peaks and troughs,
of course.
Form. What is the old saying that classes?
But again, that's what I'm saying. Jackson early on was scoring a lot of goals. He didn't start the season well.
Exactly.
But then he went this period where he was scoring a lot of goals. Now he's going into that period where he's not scoring. But he needs to quickly get back into that into that position whereby he's starting to score goals. And like I said, he needs to get back to scoring goals and obviously tell me to shut up again.
Yeah.
But we start winning games again. That's all I want. I want to see us finish in the top 4. That's what I want to see us do.
How can players rally around Nicolas? Because, class is permanent, form is temporary and all that nonsense. What can the players do around him to help him? Because in training, and I'm sure Didier, again, I've not got Didier's stats in front of me, Didier would have had barren spells. All good strikers go through them. Erling Haaland hasn't exactly been prolific in recent weeks. So what does Nicolas's teammates do around him on the training pitch to ensure that next time around against Bournemouth, he's back?
Keep working. Keep finishing in training, after training. Get 20, 30, 40 balls like Didier used to do. Keep finishing, learning those finishing, finding a way to make sure that when you get into that position, game day, you know exactly
It
what to do.
becomes second nature.
Exactly what I mean. So he needs to keep doing that. He needs to make sure he put in the work in training. After training, he's sitting there with the coaches. I'm sure there's always coaches willing to help. You know, you also have your teammates that also want to participate because they want to score goals. They want to practice their shooting. So I'm sure he's not going to be lacking that. So he needs to do that every day he finishes training. That should be his priority. I need to improve my finishing. I need to do this after training. And that's the only way. There is no other way. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. There is no shortcut to it, mate.
No.
Unfortunately,
Hard
it's not.
work.
The hard work is what gets you there. And he needs to be able to do that. He needs to do that after training because that's the only way he's going to get better in his finishing. He's going to make sure he has that confidence when he gets into that position on the weekend. He knows exactly what to do.
And the other thing, just to wrap up on Chelsea, would you like to see another centre-back brought in this month with Wesley now out for the season?
Not just a centre-back. I want to see another centre-forward. I want to see another centre-forward, a striker. I've said it and I will continue to say it.
You want them spending even more?
I want to continue to say it. From day one, I've said it. We need a top centre-forward. Nicolas Jackson, yes, fantastic player. There is talent there. You know, there is a player there. We can all see it. We can all agree to that. All I'm saying, all I'm asking the club to do is to get somebody else who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net that can help him. It's just to help him. It's not to create any problems. A healthy competition in a team, in every team, is so important.
So with that in mind then, João Felix, I think in his last 11 Premier League matches that he started on the bench, he's remained on the bench 8 of those times.
Not good enough.
So he ain't the answer then, John.
He's not the answer. Probably Enzo Maresca has looked at it and thought, okay, he's not the answer. But again, this was said, the club should have done that before the start of the season, but they didn't do that. I don't think they're going to do that in January, but in the summer, I think the club definitely should get another centre forward. Definitely. Listen, they've done everything they have to do for Nicolas. They've given him a new contract, but you can't keep relying on one person.
Yeah.
You can't keep... I remember when we were at the club, I spent 11 years there, played with the best striker that's ever played in the Premier League. What does Roman do every year? He brings in another striker, another top striker. We had the likes of Nicolas Anelka coming to the football club to help Didier Drogba.
Fernando Torres
coming to the football club to help Didier Drogba. Shevchenko coming to the football club to help Didier Drogba. It doesn't create a problem. It's a healthy competition. It helps the team. It doesn't create any problem. It's for the betterment of the football club.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You have to do that if you want to become successful. If you want to win the Premier League, you have to do that. And Didier knew that. Because obviously Roman had to explain to him, listen, yes, you are the top man. Yes, you are the main man. But of course, we need somebody. Injuries can come in. Then what are we going to do? Deeper form might come in. What are we going to do? That's when we need another person.
And all the other competitions
Exactly.
as well.
So Nicolas shouldn't be angry that I'm saying this. It's for the betterment of the club and for him and for us to succeed. So another striker coming in is not for me it's not for us to create problem. It's for a healthy competition that's going to help us to get back to where we are, which is winning trophies and competing to be in the top 4.
4 games without a win. Bournemouth, the next visitors to the Bridge. And I know every week you say a Chelsea win in the predictions. I'm not having that today. I need proper predictions.
But we are beating Bournemouth, though. We should beat
Bournemouth. Bear in mind, you beat Wolves 6-2 the last time you played them. You should beat Wolves at the Bridge.
We should beat them, yeah.
And then City away at the end of the
City away is going to be tough, but obviously City are still struggling, obviously, with their injuries and lack of form, the way they're playing. I think they've won 2 games, yes, but Pepper's come out. We've all watched the game. They were not at their best. Definitely not at their best. I don't think City are back to their best. If we have to judge them, we judge the results. Right now, we're saying, yes, they are back. But the performances, they are miles off it. So they have to get obviously the guy Rodri's not there, who I think is the engine room, and for me he is that guy that makes the team thick. So without Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne needs to get back to his form, which I think is getting there. You know what I mean? Now he's played 90 minutes. You know, he needs to get back to his best rhythm. And I think if he does that, I think City will become a better team. So, you know, you never know, but let's hope they will have their off day when we play them at Etihad.
Last one on Chelsea. By the end of January, are they still top four?
I hope so.
Yeah, you've got
I hope so. No, I definitely believe that. I think we'll beat Bournemouth. We beat Wolves, and that's going to put us back up there. City is going to be a tough game, as it is always. But we should believe that we can go to City and get a point. You know what I mean? I think we can go there and get a draw. So I still believe in the team. I still believe that we're still on the right track. Whatever we're doing, we're on the right track. The process is still working. I think we're playing enough to be able to win games. We are just not clinical enough. We're not scoring enough.
Both ends of the pitch. When you say
both
clinical,
end of the pitch, though. But listen, it happened both end of the pitch. But if you create those chances when you're 1-0 up, if you've taken one or two of them, the game would have been done. Yeah. Then all we have to do is control the game. But if you are leading 1-0, as we all know in the Premier League, 1-0 you're not safe. 2-0 you're not safe.
Not safe. No.
So when you get those chances, you need to be able to put them away and then find a way to then close the game and make sure you control the game. But if we're not finishing those chances, if we're not clinical enough, the opponent still believe that they're alive. The game is still on. So when you get those chances, we need to be able to make sure we finish.